In this episode, even more maximum monsters are unleashed. Hey there, my name is Rex, and it's time for episode 45 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. This one actually getting things started with the tournament, and we kind of actually understand some of the rules now of the tournament, or at least that, if a team loses 7 times, they're out of the tournament of day 1, and you basically just spend day 1 going about dueling whoever you come across. They don't show any specific duels, it's all just a bunch of montages of the duels, and even then, really just the monsters, and then the teams being happy if they won. I would have liked to see, an actual full duel like this, maybe on day 1. I'm assuming it's like, each person on the 3 of 3 teams faces off against each other, and then it's like a 2 out of 3 situation. If 2 team members win, then that determines the overall team who wins. That's just my guess. But overall, during this, we understand that the top teams, at least of the day, because, only the top 2 teams at the end of the day are going to move on to the next day of the tournament, because this one's just a big battle royale free-for-all. And so far the top teams are of course Luke's team and Yuga's team, relatively predictably. But while our 2 teams are chilling out at the ramen shop, I guess, getting to know each other, it's kind of a little nicer. The fossil excavation team comes in, and it's funny because Hunt is speaking for them and dressed in all gold, and we kind of got a little hint toward this, and we kind of see that he's seemingly changed. And like I said, we got a little hint of this a few episodes back. He just kind of showed up with a gold helmet for no reason, and it's like, it's nothing. But leads into this episode where we find out what exactly is going on, and he challenges Yuga to a one-on-one duel, saying like, my team really can't do anything against Neil and Roa. I'm the only one who can actually kind of hold my own. How about a one-on-one duel? And so again, it being a one-on-one duel rather than like a full-on 3-on-3, that I kind of would have liked to see maybe more so throughout this tournament, because apparently that's what's been going on. But we'll at least get some answers for what exactly is going on with Hunt, the shortest, smallest of their group, now just being so gaudy, so full of himself. And as the duel begins, we also see that that's reflected in his deck, as it's a bunch of rich dinosaurs. Basically is kind of neat, getting to see some other cards from the past, like more legacy cards like Upstart Goblin, Jurassic World. That's pretty cool. Although I can't remember if we actually saw Jurassic World before, but regardless, now the duel begins and he's got all these rich dinosaurs, even having a bit of an ace monster, which is just a redone version of Kabozels, which is, great to see that become more of a big card with Dino Rabbit. And that one was called, I have things here actually, Zenegabozels. But regardless, he's the rich hippo dino, and he's doing some damage. Yuga is able to summon some monsters on his turn, but when it comes, and basically get rid of Hunt's field. But when it comes back to Hunt's turn, now things get interesting as he summons a maximum monster. And, it's a big royal-like dinosaur monster as well, and that one is called Great Imperial Dino Carriage Dynamix. And so now we're actually finally seeing that, yes, there are maximum monsters in the mix, and we learned too that it was Hunt specifically who's got them all in circulation now, as he went back to the mountain and excavated all of the duel discs, which is why there weren't any duel discs left when Luke went there. All the duel discs, all the maximum cards, or all the cards inside there to become maximum monsters. Ooh, boy. So, interesting development. And on top of that, he's been circulating them, but is only giving out one at a time, so no one has a full, complete set. Which, all smart business decisions, but kind of funny to see that, the little kid character has kind of become this. But now, and, especially we figure this out as Ranze shows up, as she was doing this investigation for Neil. So actually seeing Ranze show up, and it's kind of interesting because we knew that she had joined Neil, when she left. And I didn't think about it last episode when Neil shows up and joins Yuga's team, that we could possibly see Ranze here. So I guess some fears are kind of a little quelled now that Neil isn't specifically a villain. He was an antagonist in the previous arc, but not necessarily a villain here. Especially as he's helping out Yuga. So, just kind of an interesting small development to see going on there. But in the duel, Yuga's actually got a maximum monster now, and it's not his Super Magitech deity coming out. It kind of happened. Okay. How it happened is that with the whole distributing one card at a time to make sure no one ever has a full set, when everybody comes together, like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, Roa has a card, Neil has a card, and then even Asuna handed or gifted him a blank card. So now he's actually got a full set of a potential maximum monster. And, I kind of like that it's them as well, especially as he summons this maximum monster, we see them all come together, because Super Magitech Deity was made from basically all of his friends before, Roman, Gakuto, and Luke, but now seeing this maximum monster basically being comprised of Asuna, Neil, and Roa, who are, all his friends now, it's kind of neat to see, and especially as he summons it. So this maximum monster is Hyper Engine Vast Vulcan, which is a big magma lava monster, basically. Doesn't exactly fit Yuga, I guess, because, one thing about the maximum monsters is so far they've kind of fit each character that has had them. And I really liked, Super Magitech Deity because that fits Yuga really well, it being, magical robot, basically, which is his whole aesthetic, kind of. But, having him have this maximum monster, which supposedly is going to be permanent, obviously it didn't dissolve at the end of this episode, so he's at least going to have it probably through the rest of the tournament and probably going to end up using it against the villain of the arc. But, just having a maximum monster like this, and so again, I'm just hoping that maybe it stays a little more permanent, and they won't have to try and pull anything out. And, even Hunt keeps his maximum monster at the end of this duel, even as he's defeated by Vast Vulcan with its effects of being able to lower attack, reduce life points, destroy the field spell, reduce life points, and then attack per game. So, some interesting developments overall, and I think, especially as we get even more of the big potential villain, Goha 66, who has apparently helped Hunt excavate all the maximum cards. Just the fact that there are some maximum monsters in circulation now, and that, Hunt was able to get a full set, of course, hoarding it to himself, and that even Yuga was able to get a full set just by everyone giving it to him. There are probably still full sets circulating around, despite their best efforts to try and make sure each person only has one piece. And especially with the potential villain being the one to help them out. So we'll see where all that leads, but things end with the top two teams basically staying the same. Yuga's team, Luke's team, they're moving on to the next day. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Like I said, I would have preferred if maybe we got one more episode showcasing some more of the tournament, some more of the duels, and then you lead into this episode revealing the thing with the maximum monsters, and then going into day 2, basically. Because you could have very easily maybe had quite a few duels in between, but I guess in terms of getting things moving along, I'm hoping at least that the last day with all the finalists lasts a lot longer. Again, if it's going to be like one person from each team duels against each other, that's at least 3 episodes worth of duels, because you'll get all those, and it'll probably end up being Yuga versus Luke at some point, which that'll be pretty cool to see. See them finally duel against each other again. But interesting stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you enjoy this episode? What do you think is going to be happening going forward? What are your thoughts on the tournament as a whole, I guess, and especially with the villain being built up? I'm at least hoping, we get, like I said, hoping we get to see maybe 3 duels, and then this tournament come to a conclusion, and then bring in the villain. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. It'll make sure you see each new video as it comes out. Anyway, this has been Rex. Have a nice day.